Sure.
I'm still there.
Okay. So we're back in session, no action taken. We're gonna start. I bet we did. I 4 days and I got tired. So. Okay, class.
Did you say that? Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Over the rowdy group.
I know, I couldn't hear.
Sure.
You're just sharing. She's
Yeah.
stuck on a Zoom.
Were you gonna?
She's gonna stay in her bed.
She's gonna stay there? She's already got her seat on.
Yeah, she don't want to sit in the whole chair.
Okay, let's get started. Jeremy, let's start with you and we'll work our way around this way.
Just a reminder on the original janitorial contracts are due back to our office by the end of the week, 12/5, Friday. And then we discussed a little bit in this morning's commission meeting, for those that aren't aware of some snow maps that are available on the county website now under Public Works. So go check them out. Kind of gives you an idea of who's responsible for what, and then also there's another map kind of showing where all the trucks have been and those sorts of things. So,
Kaylin, you should have looked it up so they can see it. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah. I can pull that up.
Yeah, why not? So all the others are.
Yeah.
I saw you guys on there, so I was trying to real time.
I'll pull it up.
Sorry.
But no, those will be pretty helpful, I think, for anybody that has any questions, may come into any of your offices and say, well, who's responsible for this or that? You can point them in that direction and they can sure find out. And it might help eliminate some confusion as we move forward of who's responsible for removing snow where. I know we get a lot of calls in our office for roads that are not ours, and we have to point them in the right direction. So, I know Sheriff and his staff are always extremely helpful in these snow events. They're always out on the roads and all over the county, so they do a good job of reporting back to us, letting us know what they're seeing. So, other than that, I think that's all I have.
Travis?
We started market modeling, which is good. We're answering questions about tax bills, things, right? Which I realized I wrote you a reply on Wednesday, never seen it.
I was gonna say, did you not get it?
It's on my screen. Stuff like that, right? Questions like that, and all that stuff. We'll talk about that offline, but
Okay.
I need to see him to know
Oh, okay.
kind of what's going on with it. Yeah, other than that, it's fun, right? Tax bills will answer.
Yeah, we know.
Well, that's really it. Just answer questions about that and kind of moving on towards January 1st already.
Okay. Charles?
So December, that's usually our quietest month, but for,
Don't say that word.
I mean, there's a lot of other stuff going on, but not like the group. I mean, it's about a lot of boring medical stuff. Our flu rates are extremely low. So, I think that's really good. And it's going up everywhere else, but not here, so. Now, we still got that under control. I can handle that. Things are going really good. Got a lot of grant stuff going on, but.
Jackie?
My turn? Nothing really new to report from my office, just kind of gearing up, doing some user agreements for public access users to get those started for January of 2026 and just getting ready for year-end wrap-up stuff. So I'm trying to be ahead of the game so that I'm not forgetting anything, but that's pretty much it.
How's the fraud thing, but I mean, you have several people still coming in.
We do. It's funny when we have people come in, it's almost like, oh, well, it's great that you asked that question. I have the perfect answer for you, you know? But they want to know what can we do, and so I bring them back to one of our public computers, and I explain that their information isn't being sold. This is what you're agreeing to, and help them get signed up. I did recently gain access to the admin side of that to see how many people we have signed up. And I was kind of surprised, the number to me is low. I think it was about 300 people are signed up for it. So that's more a matter of me trying to figure out the best way to get that information out there and push that more again. So it may be stuff on JC Post. I did go on the radio about it. I could do that again.
I put on Facebook for you.
Okay, yeah, I want to come up with an easier, because what we initially put on Facebook was like a really long thing, and people don't want to read that. Like, you're gonna lose them halfway through. So I want it to be kind of just grab their attention, give the website, and so I want to make something for that. But yeah, so I think the people that do come in and ask about it, they're really glad that we provide that service. It's easy to sign up, but they also don't want to necessarily sign up at home by themselves. They want to know everything about it. So
Sharing.
Tax statements are out.
That's fun.
We're fixing the mortgage companies, as they call, and sending them to them. I will try one more time to get the mortgages back up there. Nobody told me anything about future years and current years. Current year to me is the year I'm in, next year.
Do you even have access to the?
I do, but it's kind of a frustrating, because you have to toggle between the 2 years. So just like this morning, I went out and fixed a bunch in 26 that I was correcting that were not out there in 25. And you can't even look to see if it's fixed. I can put it in, but I can't, because we don't work in the future. My office works in.
So you don't have all the access that you need necessarily, so.
I can go out there and add it in, but I can't see that like in 25, if I add it in, I can go and check the statement and see that it's been in there and it's correct and it's like it's supposed to be. But if I add it in 26, I can't see anything because there are no statements for 26.
But
So
there's nothing that you can like preview or.
Best I can do is when I
More
get done is
access.
print a list to see that these are showing up in 26, and hopefully that'll show up, but, CIC knew the problem last year. They didn't tell me that I had to work in future. My office never works in future. Kathy can tell you that. We always work in current. Current's the year we're taking the taxes for. My instructions say work in current. Current is the year I'm taking the taxes for me. It's not 2026, so. We spent 2 months last year wasting time because didn't know that we were doing it incorrectly. I also have 2 girls that worked for over a month, putting in 4,000 of them, September, October time period, and they raised up.
But if they were taken out in one department and you guys put them back in, is it still in that department that took them out? Could that have been the problem? Because
You're just saying that they didn't roll over into 25 because they were done in January of 25 and they weren't done in 2026. I don't work in 2026. The appraiser's office works in 2026 and the clerk's office works in 2026.
that's my question is, because they were taken out by the clerk, which was the problem last time, and I know you put them back in, is it something that the clerk has to put back in? We need to figure this out.
Well,
so
they're
that-
telling me now, and that's what I guess why I got so upset was because they never said this last year. They're telling me now that there's if I give them a spreadsheet that they can insert them and make sure that they're in there for the next tax year. That wasn't anything that was ever discussed last year. I was told how to find the mortgage company list. I was told that we needed to get them put back in there. Nobody talked about a spreadsheet. And if the clerk's office had put them in last year instead of me, would it have stayed for 27 or would they just be in there for 26? Nobody can answer these questions. I've asked. You've seen some of the emails. I've forwarded them to you. Nobody seems to be accountable or wanna, step up to the plate from the software, so. When things quiet down there in another week or two to where we're just working the mail, I'm gonna get back in touch with CIC. Cause I can get a spreadsheet and see what we can do to take care of all of that.
And I know I asked, and I don't know if it's possible to have it where it's printed out as a sample, so we can see if everything's on there. Is that a possibility?
Well, I did that. That's how I found out before they went to print that they weren't out there.
But it
The
does
ones
no
that were
good.
out
It
there.
has to be before it goes.
Oh,
Right.
Not
okay,
after.
okay.
Right. And so the
So
ones
there's
that,
nothing you can do before it goes?
No, before it goes, that's when we should have previewed it.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Tested
yeah.
and made sure they
That
were
should be on the checklist.
and they
yes.
did look at them, but the ones that they, like Courtney pulled her house up, well, that's a new purchase. So they did the deed last year, so it would have been in there.
Yeah.
Because they would have keyed it in, whereas my house, it's not a new purchase.
It was.
So mine wasn't out there. And so, my office spent 2 months putting
I
that
know.
stuff back in. And I'm more frustrated at the software company because nobody said, hey, you need to do it this way. You need to work in the future. My instructions say you work in the current year. My office, the current year is the year I'm taking the taxes for. Never said anything about future.
And it's the same way in the financial system, so if I've already went into 26 and I try to change something back in 25, it's not gonna carry into 26. I have to do it in both 25 and 26. Now, if I haven't rolled to 26, then it will roll into 26. So this is probably the same thing where the clerk's office has already rolled to go to 27 because they've already done their 26. And so nothing's gonna go into 27 without manually doing it or anything in 26.
Well, I know, and I know what the clerk sent her update on, she sent everything to the state and it came back fine. Well, that's not gonna say whether her mortgages were right or not. So that's what I just wanna,
I'm hoping
Prevent.
that we are going to solve this
I
problem
hope so.
this time.
But even if
Not
they,
sure I got it
anything-
in me to do another year like last year.
but anything that you change in 26 will have to manually be uploaded into 27 since they've already rolled.
I know, but does it have to be done both in the, I guess that's my
It
question.
does have to be done
In
in both.
both. That's
In
what,
my
that's where I think the mistake might have been.
In
is we
my
only did it
office, it
once.
has to be done in both.
Yeah. But
We
then
know that now, but I did not know that.
No, I meant when
before.
I say both in the clerk and the treasurer's
No,
office.
It has to
Okay.
be done in both years.
Okay,
Unless you're already working in the year ahead.
okay.
I don't work in the year ahead, so and we've done this wrong from the get-go. Because we were never told that we had to do nothing I have says do it in current and future, it just says current. And so that's what we've always done. When we've deleted them, when we've added them, it's always been in the year that we were in, which was current for us. But now I'm being told that if I do something in 25, I have to go into 26 and
Do it.
also do the same thing. Would have been nice to know that a year ago.
Well, and of course, we had Carla come for
Mhm.
June and we had Carla come for November. We went through everything. I mean, and then when Sherry, because as soon as we sent them to Sherry, she called me and said in this very bad voice, the mortgage companies are not on.
They're not what, on?
Not
Oh.
on, because we brought up probably 10.
Yeah, and they were all on?
Yeah. So then we asked CIC, why is this happening now? We did mortgage companies last year, and now we got this again. And she said in her email, remember, well, I was at the clerk's office for training, 4 days. They were the ones that was paying for it. I was not there to train the treasurer's office.
Yeah, I saw that email.
So, we said, the mortgage company's on and whatever she looked at or whatever, oh, yeah, they're there. Well, she looked at 1 year.
She
So,
didn't look at
yeah.
Future year.
Mm-mm. So, the whole thing has been, again,
Right.
And I think you kind of gotta get, I hate to say lucky, but like when you're spot checking those, you just gotta happen to pick one that's wrong or you'll never know, right? And
well, that's it. I mean, you
And
know,
if
we
you-
picked some people that we knew, we picked some other people that just, you know, randomly, and they were on there.
right,
But
So was it people that Sherry said, one was a brand new purchase and the other one was, I mean, did we have that? And it
Most
still had
likely
some
what's
more?
gonna be out there right now is anybody that purchased a new home, anybody that refinanced their home last year, and it had to be updated. Any of that information is gonna be out there. Anything that was out there prior to that, like my house, because I've owned it for however many years,
Yeah. It's not gonna be on there.
no.
I'm gonna interrupt real quick and just say, is this something that we could put towards the end so that those of us that aren't involved in it? I've just got a meeting coming up and I just don't wanna be late for it or have to get out of here.
That's all.
I'm good.
Everything revolved around Crystal.
No, that's why I was asking, otherwise I would've just left.
No, it's true. I mean, we're not gonna solve it today, but we do need to maybe address it again, for sure.
Well, in that case, if you wanna go ahead and go.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate that.
Go ahead, Queen Crystal.
It is all about me. Aside from Jeremy, myself, Tammy, and a couple of the commissioners, is anybody else going to KAC? Jackie, were you gonna go? No, you decided not to go? All right, I do know that they still have some openings for the pre-conference, which is for support staff. Jeremy, you're sending Lisa and Lisa Marie, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and I can get, they want people to attend, they need people that also help out that day, so if your staff wants to go, I can get it for 50%. I think the cost is normally $80, so it's for $40, they get a day of training. They figured that KAC is great for those of us that are department heads, but a lot of times the support staff doesn't get the training they need. So this is specifically for support staff. It's next Monday in Wichita. So if you want more information, let me know. I help you out with that. The new policy manual went out, as you guys know, in October. After some intense follow-up, I was able to get with all the departments and get every single one back. Just as a reminder that new hires have 30 days from their date of hire to review it, get it back. So about a week beforehand, if we don't have it, we will be emailing that employee and CCing the department head, so that we know and that you know if your staff has completed what they need to do or not. One of the ways I was able to tell that people actually read the policies, had people contact me, go, I didn't know that, I didn't know that. One of them, they was asked, they didn't want to point fingers at their supervisors, so they asked if I would bring it up that for hourly employees, they should not be working 24/7. They should not be expected to check their emails or respond. If they take a lunch, then they should be free to have lunch, whether it's their 30 minutes or an hour. And if they are called in to work during that period of time, they need to be paid for it. So, and I'll admit, our office was one of those. Jenny would always answer the phone and I had to talk with her and say, look, I appreciate that you're wanting to help, but it's a violation of Department of Labor. I cannot have you do that. So now she puts a sign up and she'll ignore anybody that comes in, ignore anybody on the phone, in order to do that. So I have a couple employees that feel that they're not being, they didn't want to report anything, they want to put specific dates, but they wanted a heads up that I don't feel like I'm being relieved of my duties and that I'm always on. So I said, okay, this will be the reminder for department heads. I wrote down everybody that's here so everybody knows that if your staff works, if they're not on the clock and it's more than de minimis, you need to clock them in for that pay.
And if I send an email after hours, I don't expect you to answer it until I just need to send it or I'll forget.
Yeah, and again, it's one of those things Tiffany lets me know. She goes, hey, I just check email just so I get a heads up, but I never spend more than 3 or 4 minutes on it. If they want to do that, and it's less than 5 minutes, I don't have a problem with it. But if something came up and then she spent 15 to 30 minutes solving something, I would pay her for it. We might have a conversation about her working outside of hours, but I would still pay her for it. And that's what we need to make sure that we're doing. And that's why it's really important that hourly staff clock in and clock out. We still have some employees that forget a lot. And I think for some people it's because they're lazy, I don't know. But that is for auditing purposes. If we get audited and somebody says, well, I was doing this from this time to this time, and all their time has been entered, they didn't clock in or clock out, somebody else went in and entered it, it's our word against their word that they really worked those times. So, and if somebody's gone, or you as a supervisor have to fix their time, there's a note section, please put why you had to fix their time. Task force meeting days, Jennifer and Tiffany normally go straight over there, they don't clock in first. So when we come back over, they'll put 8 o'clock and I'll put at task force. So we know why they didn't clock in that morning. So just, not trying to be mean or pick on any individual people, but that there's reason behind this madness. And that's all I have.
I have a quick question for you. The defensive driving certificates, do we have a time?
If you attended in person, I have those certificates, just let me know. Not everybody needed theirs. But if you need yours, just let me know and I'll forward it to you.
Okay, great. Thank you. I'll email you.
I sent Gabrielle hers, I think.
My insurance was asking me when I called the other day, they're like, do you have any on? I'm like, oh.
Yeah, and
Okay,
with mine, I just had to tell them what date I took it. They made a certificate or anything, so.
all right. I'll email you.
Okay,
One thing, Kathy brought it up this morning, the
benefit
snow
wage statements. Oh, the snow policy.
snow
Oh.
policy.
Another thing that was added in the policy manual, sorry, Sheriff's Office, but you guys are fickle 24/7 anyway. But specifically for Public Works, if we close offices due to the weather, so specifically snow, and they have to go out and they have to work to keep the roads safe for the rest of us, and we're at home getting paid admin leave, the Public Works staff that is out doing all the roads and stuff will get an equivalent amount of admin leave added to them so that they can take time off when the weather's not so bad and still get paid to stay at home and do whatever like we were doing. So if they're out risking their lives, in the, like, especially last January when, okay, I know Lamigo got a lot, we got like 3 feet of snow, outside my garage door, I couldn't move. But when they're out there cleaning that stuff up so that we'll stay home until it's safe, we're saying, we still care about you because they're only getting regular hours. They're not getting overtime. They're not getting double time or anything, regular hours. So this way they're recognized that they're having to put in above and beyond. Everybody else is at home. Sorry, it's the sheriff's office. And tell the bad guys not to misbehave during bad weather. I mean, we'll bunch of
Jack Frost is the best police officer, really.
There you go. So, and if you guys haven't yet, I mean, hopefully you all at least did a cursory glance of it, but if you have any questions about the policies, that some changed, some didn't, some were just clarified for expectations and stuff. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to come and visit with us. And we've already had a sit down with Jeremy and Kaylin on some of them that affected Public Works, and happy to discuss any of the changes anytime.
Tyler,
Yeah, Extension wrapped up our year a couple weeks ago, right before the holiday. Got our volunteers installed, and so planning for the new year now. And our Medicare program that happens during the season is finishing up here this next week, as that's when the Medicare season closes. So if you know anybody in your life that needs that consultation, give us a call. We have a few spots left. But other than that, we're ready to prep for the new year.
Raquel?
This week we have our board meeting, and before the meeting, we're gonna do a board appreciation luncheon for our board members. We also we were in the parade, with the county vehicle. So, we sponsored, one of the, gifts with the prizes. And I think it was Walmart that won the prize that the CVB sponsored. And I'm gonna be out of the office on the 4th this week, and then on the 9th and 10th of next week. I just gave Crystal my out of office form. And also Mandy is gonna be out of the office in the morning on the 9th, so the CVB office will be closed that morning. She's gonna be right across the hall at the leadership program. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Gary?
First of all, our ladies auxiliary put a float in the parade. They won the Founders Award, $150 for their parade float, so they were very happy about that. The auxiliary's got their annual bake sale coming up Friday, so save your money, save your eating on Thursday, so you can come down there. Bake sale's gonna start at 10 and go till 6 at night. They've also got some craft items that they'll be selling, so hop on down and do that. The only other thing is Keith asked me to talk a little bit about the snow stuff. First of all, make sure all your people are signed up on Everbridge. Make sure their phone numbers are current. If they've changed phones recently, phone numbers, whatever, get a hold of Kim and she can verify that we've got the correct information in there. When it starts snowing, Keith will get a hold of the sheriff's office, Public Works, and myself and figure out what's going on for the day, whether we'll have a delay of a couple hours. We've done that before. It'll be good for people to go out and get the road and sidewalks clear, or we'll shut down for the whole day. And so Keith makes that decision when the commission's not in session, then he lets me know, and then we get it out on Everbridge to everybody. So if they're not signed up on Everbridge, they won't know for sure what's going on, so.
And we try and get that done the day before, if we know it's gonna be really, really bad. And it's, like Chris said, you're danged if you do and danged if you don't, but, we'd rather have everybody safe. So.
Yeah, I think it's important too for the department heads to push that out, even though it's going out on Everbridge. You know, if that department head absolutely knows and gets notified through Everbridge to make contact with their employees to make sure it's right away.
Yep. Kind of like a calling tree or something.
Yeah.
Good point. Tammy?
Just as a reminder for the people who do use CIC, they sent out an email about their end of year webinars. So just want to make sure that you're thinking about getting that done before the end of the year, for anything new, and that you're aware of any changes that they have. We're working on end of year financial reviews and through the financials, and did identify a couple of entries. Department heads or their admins, whoever you rely on to do that, make sure they're looking at that in case we do need to make any reclassifications before end of year. We'll be working on W-2s, 1099s, and the pay rate benefit changes in the month of December. There will be a budget amendment, and that is scheduled, the hearing for that is scheduled next Monday, December 8th at 11 a.m. We had to go in and amend, or actually create a budget for the Community Corrections Reimbursement Fund. The state made them pull that money out, and the state wouldn't give guidance on whether to budget that or not. And so just to be safe, we're gonna go ahead and do that. And since we did that, we chose to go ahead and amend the general for the additional revenue that came in beyond what we had budgeted for 2025. So no changes to ad valorem. That's very important for the public to understand. You can't change that once it's set. The only thing we're encompassing is additional revenue that came in that we had unexpected. I will be out tomorrow and Wednesday for the CPM class in Olathe this time, because I'm going to KAC next week, which is the normal time in Topeka. So out December 2nd and 3rd, and out December 9 through 11, and then I will also be out of the office on December 5th.
Hey, our installments for our new cameras started last week in the jail. That's probably gonna take 4 to 6 weeks before it's completed, so that's a huge step there for safety in the jail. Betsy and I are getting real close on the contract with the city for the dispatch in the jail contract. We call that a wash. That's gonna be gigantic for the county. We were in the parade as well. I think we got the county commissioner award. So, did you guys judge that, or who judged that? Okay. I was like, who judged that?
I'm sure it wasn't the
It
city.
was a little bit.
It might have been the city.
It's that county commissioner award. It was a little biased if you guys judged it.
Yeah.
I think Jason Chandler did it.
You're welcome, we paid, we paid.
Anyway, I was gonna say thank you, Trish, never mind. Let's see, tip a cop. It's the first time we're gonna bring that to Geary County. We've never done that for Special Olympics that I'm aware of.
Yes, we have.
We have, okay, sorry. So my command staff said no, we have not.
It's as long ago as coaches.
Okay, so we're gonna start that back up then with Riley County and JCPD for Special Olympics fundraising. So if you guys are out and about on Thursday at High Wind 49 is for a good cause.
On this Thursday?
Yes.
Nice.
Okay, cool.
And that's it.
Thanks.
Correct. This is kind of our slow time of year, not a lot of construction going on, when it gets cold and snowy out. We noticed on our permit report that I sent this morning for November, 3 permits
Yeah.
issued, so that's freed me up to do some full-side GIS type projects for various departments. I've been working with Public Works a bit, but if you've got a GIS project that you want done, let me know. We'll see if we can get something going.
Yeah, good job on the snow thing.
Did you give me credit for that?
We did.
Yeah, very.
You gotta have something good to say about you.
It's
one thing.
Few and far between. What is December, you know?
It's been rather difficult without his assistance.
Oh, I will give you guys a heads up. We have a situation out in the county where there is some agricultural land that's gonna be coming up for sale. The individual that wants to purchase it has not got a problem other than it's landlocked and the neighbor does not want to grant an easement. So, working with a different neighbor who's gonna do that, but that's gonna involve a closure of a partial road right of way that has never been built. So, I haven't discussed this with council yet, but it's gonna be a super easy fix. I talked to Jeremy about this already and.
Is that sarcastic or super easy fix?
No, this truly
Okay.
will be a super easy one, so.
They're not on.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Single owner on both sides of the right of way, so, it's super easy. So I do have some forms that he needs to fill out and sign, but that'll be coming to your attention here pretty quick. So,
Yeah, the potential buyer reached out to me and
Yeah,
kind of put it similar to you. It's a simple fix.
it is, and the neighboring landowner that's not willing to participate, he lives in New Jersey, so, yeah, I don't really have a lot of sympathy for him, how this works out. That's not in his favor.
Well, and the seller contacted me and I talked about it.
Yeah.
And so,
Yep, we've talked about this. The broker that's handling this transaction contacted me a couple months ago to ask about this. So I think this will be the easiest way around it.
so you'll be bringing that to us. Yeah.
Yep. Other than that, Merry Christmas.
Yeah. Caleb, do you want to pull that up real quick?
Sure, yep. So just on our county website, if you go to the Public Works page, there is the snow and ice little tab. Troy also put the one map here, but a little easier. I just made a whole new tab. So the one that Troy built for us looks like this, and it's searchable, so you can get in there and search your address. So that way it pulls up who's responsible for snow removal in your area. So this is just a good overview. The legend has what colors go with what entity and the phone number. So we make sure we get the right information out there for whoever needs to be called. And then if you start typing addresses, they will pop up here. I won't pull up anyone. We'll just do Public Works address. So
What was my address?
zoom in to the area as much as you would like. And then if you just click on the road out in front of your residence or place of business, it pulls up responsible party and then who it is. So there are some confusing parts around the county of who is responsible. So we just thought this would be the cleanest way to kind of help on those areas where we do a chunk and then it's a city and then it goes back to us being responsible or KDOT's involved randomly. So one tool there for mapping purposes on who the public needs to call for snow removal purposes. And then the next link on our page gives you, quote, a live view on where our trucks are at. So we have 8 of our vehicles in this group, the ones that are in charge of snow removal, all of our dump trucks. And then people can see kind of where they're at on this map. The green triangles means they are moving. And green circle means the truck is on, they're just not moving currently. Black circle is the truck is turned off. So it is lunchtime. Maybe on our trucks that are on but not moving. So just kind of another tool that can be used during snow removal time for people to get on to kind of see that we are out where our trucks are located, knowing that we are coming to do the snow removal around their area.
I love it. It's good.
I know,
And
it's
if we
awesome.
name them, we'll change the names on here, so thought it would be a little,
Steve.
instead of 32, have a fun little name to go with it. So, yeah,
Well, and you can overlay the snow.
yeah, let me get the weather on.
Yeah.
So then you kind of see whether that's coming or whether that's already past us. And you should be able to kind of view all over. You can zoom out as much as you would like, so.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I think
Love it.
Great job.
it's great.
So,
Good job, Troy.
Yeah,
yes,
right.
thank you, Troy, for the map.
Unfortunately, we don't have the capability to do that. We do, however, though, because of the online stuff that we have access to is limited by our licensing structure, we stick with the free stuff. But they've upgraded that to include, and I've talked with Jeremy about this just briefly, but you know how the city's got a taxpayer report portal, and you can call in or drop a pin on potholes and that kind of
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
Reporting things. We have that capability
Yeah,
now,
that
so I
would be
think
nice.
probably moving forward in 26 is something that we'll probably work on at some point. So,
Yeah.
Awesome.
And we're moving on up.
We are.
Ooh,
Really good.
It's only the 21st century.
Baby steps.
Thank you, Kevin. Kathy, do you have anything?
No, I just wanted to review over the protocol for snow, any snow events we have, because like Raquel hasn't been, so I think she needed to know too what the process is if there's a snow event.
Oh, I'm sorry. Teresa, did you have anything
For
for?
Betsy.
No.
Well, there was something, left my phone over there. We all got something from Courtney.
Oh, yeah, she said that her, the elections went smoothly and that, she was gonna have CIC come in, until she feels comfortable.
Betsy?
We have the, tax sale, on November 8th, and I'd like to thank the treasurer's office, the sheriff's department, GIS, extension, finance, the register of deed, the appraiser, the county attorney's office, and Commissioner Giordano, I think all, helped quite a bit, so I appreciate that. And, I think Miss Tammy got all the, accounting done on that, and generally they say 60 to 90 days to get a deed. And I think we'll be pretty close to that timeline, hopefully closer to 60 than 90, but
That's great.
we'll see. So thank you all.
Okay.
Well, next week we are meeting with the state legislators. I would like, I know there's stuff in the treasurer's office, appraiser's office. If we could write something out and then you can send it to me and I'll do it, but put it on one page to give to them. And make sure that we have those talking points, so, cause I don't think they understand some of this stuff. And, because they're not on the local level to understand what exactly the processes are and how it affects us. And so I really think that would be very important, when you guys come, to have something that we can give them before we even talk to them, or after we talk to them, whichever, but, if you guys could send that to me this week, I could put it on a sheet, and then we can print it out and give it to them on Monday. You guys come at 1, right? Everybody else comes at 1,
So
on
definitely, if you got something pressing, come at 1 o'clock.
Yeah, I mean, the unfunded mandates, I would really like to see what exactly it costs the treasurer's office to do the work, and then how much we actually get paid, just to, if there's even a ballpark of how much it costs the county residents to do the job for the state.
I gave them something like that last year.
Okay, yeah, and so I just think that might be good, and then I think that we need to have some talking points as far as what we wanna, talk about. I know unfunded mandates for sure.
That economic development bill,
Yes,
was it House Bill 2304, I think?
I think it is 2304.
I think there are some questions I have on it, and
Oh, yeah, that would be.
I think that, especially since it relates to EDC and
Mhm.
cities and figuring out who's supposed to be even reporting on this.
Yeah, they probably will have to go back and check that out. And then I have talked to, some people at the chamber about this, about, next year is, Fort Riley's gonna be deployed a lot of the year, and by June and July, 90% of the base is gonna be gone. And, even though we don't pay sales tax, I think as a county, to make a conscious effort to try to buy local. I know we buy a lot on Amazon, and I know that's convenient. But, supporting our local business when we're gonna have a big population gone, I think is something that we need to do as conscious effort to do, to try to do. You're not always gonna be able to do that. But I just wanted to put that bug in your ear as far as that, because a lot of people don't realize how much that affects our small businesses. And that's all I have.
Well, I kind of covered on it, or you covered some of it. So I don't really have anything, but just definitely encourage you at 1 o'clock if you have something to, just like you can bring that. And share with the legislators, because we only get to meet with them like this once a year. I know we meet individually with them throughout the year. I think it's important that, like Chris said, they need to understand the local and the effects it has on the counties and cities and the school districts. So, well, with that said, unless somebody has anything else, I appreciate y'all coming. I'm sorry, next time don't take all of it.
I have nothing else to
Just sit there and look at it and go, gosh, I don't know what to do next. He said,
Do you want to-
3/4 of a good man. He told me I was the hat.
Yeah. Come on, wrong time, for you. We'll get what else.
Did you get change orders this year? Or this week?
Yes.
Okay.
Tom,
I don't know what that means. If you trailer there, we'll get it.
So do you need me to send my things? I'll send them to you.
Yeah, that's what means. That's like,
Okay,
if I saw the numbers, I could probably.
okay,
It has to do with the percent of increase of that.
okay. Because I thought weird that they would both go up in value, and then one went down and one went up.
Yeah, if one went up less than the average, it might not have been affected by
Okay,
revenue.
well, that makes sense then. Then,
But we can see, for sure.
Okay.
They don't know.
Travis, I haven't got to see this.
Try to high five them.
Yeah, like,
He's a bionic man.
yeah,
Yes.
I let the kids at the daycare push the power button and then I chase them around with the
What does
robot.
that do? Does it enable you to bend it?
Yeah, so when I start physical therapy, they'll set limits on how far I can extend it and stuff. So right now it's just been locked in.
What do you have done?
Tore my bicep
That's
off the bone, man. It was bad. Wow. Bad.
He was lifting a little branch.
So we're making natural road.
It was.
No, it's just a right of way.
You're not as young as you.
Sure wasn't a stick.
So I hit 40 and straight off the lip. See you guys.
Yeah.
I make a motion to accept the, change order.
I'll second.
Then move and second to accept the change order, all in favor, say aye. Motion carries.
Okay, minutes, Keith said they're okay, Trish said they're okay, Kathy, asked about, when we were talking about increasing the commission size to 5, I had in there that it was a part-time job, that's referring to someone that may be interested in being a commissioner. She wanted the wording changed. Did you see how I sent you that email?
No, I didn't see it today. If you, oh, did you? I didn't.
Yeah, I sent it this morning.
Oh.
I put in there, I didn't say it was a part-time job because you kind of, you said, well, it depends on how much time you put in it, and it's not full-time, definitely. So I just said, if a person wants to be commissioner, it depends on how much time they put in it as to whether, what type of job it is. I mean, you know, they can make it more full-time, more part-time, or whatever.
I mean, I don't think there should be any conversation about whether it's part-time or not. It's
No.
the commission is a position.
Well, but I mean, if somebody wants to do it, they want to know how much time it's gonna be. Well, you can't really give them any time.
Yeah,
set.
yeah.
Because they
Some
think
weeks
that
it more than others.
well, sometimes they do, a lot of them just think it's meet on Mondays and that's it.
Yeah.
They only meet one day a week.
Yeah.
Well,
No, there's more to it.
I was on there, and I even had to bug Betsy yesterday, I apologize, but, you know, I was on there
Sunday,
from
really.
11 till like 4 o'clock, just doing stuff and finding, going through that legislative audit and stuff, and so I think, if you're, you know, if you've got the position and the responsibility, you should be doing your due diligence, and.
Yeah, and that's up to the person.
Yes, and that
I mean,
is-
just like any board, people
yes.
sit on, they,
Yeah.
you know.
And do they attend?
So I changed it and you look at that and then, let me know. I won't post these till.
Okay.
So anyway, if I can get the minutes approved.
Do I hear a motion?
So moved. I'll second.
And then second to approve the minutes, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Carried.
Yeah, that sounds better, Teresa.
Okay. So then next week, we've beat it to death. It's gonna be pretty full. Got Crystal, Tammy, the sheriff, the budget amendment hearings at 11. I've moved public comment up. And then, I start at 11:45 that we can get the food in and whatever to have the legislators and the working lunch. And then 1 o'clock, of course, for the other department heads, and then adjournment after that's over.
Yesterday, talking to Betsy, I had contacted her because either today, Betsy, if you're able, or if you want to wait until another time after you've looked over it, but I just thought that, you know, it should be on to the public too, what the process it is to increase the size of the board, because a lot of people don't realize that there is.
Yeah, it's not just up to us.
Right, yeah,
So-
so, yeah. And
I
not
mean, we
necessarily.
can talk about it, I mean, it's KSA 19204, C, allows you guys to, set commission districts in 3, 5, or 7, to 3, 5, or 7, by resolution. And so you guys can vote
Oh, you can?
that by resolution, but then it would not be effective until it was, you know, balloted and voted
Oh, okay.
upon by a majority at the next general election. It has to be at least, you'd have to do that at least 60 days prior to the election, so the clerk's office would have time to, you know, get it on there.
But you're saying, that it first there has to be a resolution to go forward.
Well, you can do it by resolution. There's also,
petition.
an avenue by petition, which requires signatures by 5% of the qualified electors. I think I said that number last week.
925.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where they can file a petition. Either way, it's gonna go on the ballot. It has to be a general election ballot, you can't do a primary ballot. So there's two ways. I mean, it can be generated by the commission or generated by petition. It would seem to me that if the commission is interested in exploring this, it might be worth it to have a public hearing or two, or a public comment session.
Yeah, that would be a good idea.
To kind of take the temperature of the public, because if there's feelings that are really negative towards it by a majority of people, it's probably not worth the cost to,
Yeah, but sometimes that's all that comes out, to complain. Like I said, I mean, there were people that were for it that didn't want to jump on Facebook because they didn't want to get attacked.
Well, Facebook's one thing, but I think,
Yeah.
If people would like to be involved and have it, maybe you guys could have a listening session or. I mean, I think it definitely would deserve.
Well, I think we need to, I think us, just, talking to people and talking to other counties. There may be one or two people in Marion County that don't want it anymore, but there are some people that think that they get better representation because there's, smaller, areas that have one, instead of having one person that's dedicated rural, there's more than one.
Right, and it might be a good idea, maybe you could even put it on the agenda for discussion at the night meeting.
Yeah, the night meeting would be good, because then people could come.
Well, I appreciate it. I've been looking over it, but I thought it'd be better come from you than me. Sometimes I'm not very good at explaining myself, so no, I appreciate it.
So, I mean, yeah, and if it went to 5 or 7 or a different amount, we did redistricting, I think, last year, but we'd have to redistrict and, make sure that the population was evened out among the new districts, and so.
Yeah. We're halfway through to the next census.
That might be something just to even do a sample one to show. I know that's a lot of work, but.
We could do that.
I mean, so people could see, okay, this is what it could look like if we did go to 5, and this is where the people would,
Yeah, we could do that.
just to give them all the information and so they know.
Do you guys have any questions I could answer, or?
No, but I think it might help, easier to make it when they don't have to be contiguous.
Right.
I was wondering what part of it was too, would the resolution impact them leaving the vacancy of, 2 positions open so that it could be appointed by, and then go back to, like the appointment when anytime there's a vacancy in an office type, and follow that statute that way?
You mean if it gets,
If by resolution, that we decide to go forward and then, that leaves 2 vacancies open, does it always have to go then to a petition to go forward with a general election, or is the vacancies, can they be filled by basically appointment, like we do sometimes,
Right, are you
that
talking about
statute
if
that
we do the
vacancy.
resolution?
Yeah, I'm
It
just
still has
asking,
to
I don't know.
go, yeah, it still has to go to a general election to see whether we have them. And then, are you asking then if they do say, okay, yeah, we're gonna increase to 2, what the process is then?
That's where it drags out, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Because then you gotta figure out the districts, you gotta figure out, Yeah,
So if they vote and say, yeah, okay, yes, we do want to go to 5, there's 2 people that, do they get appointed or do they wait until it's time to do a next election
I
to
think we
get,
wait and
yeah,
do the
Yeah.
next election.
is that what you're asking?
Yeah,
Kathy?
yeah.
I don't think it's our job to appoint.
Well, that's what, yeah. And who, yeah.
I don't know if they can. I thought it said something about the governor because it is a partisan,
Well, that's what,
position.
you know, too, then, you know, that type of a appointment type, deal where, you know, we.
So you fill those as an election. Because they actually did 19203C says vacancies created by an increase in the number of county commission districts in a county pursuant to 19204. Amendments thereto shall be filled at an election as provided by KSA 19203A. And 19203A says,
I think I was talking about this process, I think that Douglas County had where they recommended to the governor, the two commissioners, but it was by, the special election, which we wouldn't go that avenue.
no, and they just shall be filled at the next
General
general.
election.
So I mean, it kind of takes 2 elections to actually take,
to get them to.
take effect. And I think that's why as part of 19204, it says, if you've changed the number in your commission districts in the last 4 years, you're not eligible to change it again, because it takes about that long to actually affect it.
Okay, that makes sense, yeah, okay.
It's a process.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I appreciate that, Betsy, I think too, that, you know, it helps us get more educated too if we have questions, and that's what, you know, people, you know, or, you know, have all kinds of questions, and, you know, I didn't want to necessarily speak out about something I'm not positive about, so I appreciate you going over that.
Sure.
Anything else?
Nope.
If not, we will stand adjourned.
Thank you.